Hey, do you know what time it is? That's right. It's time for Coach Lindy's podcast. The podcast to get you moving. Hi, I'm Lindy Hutchinson, a certified life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. As a life coach, I help others transform their life as I have mine. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it most certainly is worth it. Each week, I'll share insights that inform, inspire, and ignite in you your desire to create a life that you love. So let's find out what's going on this week. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 50. Ooh, thank you for joining me. It's very exciting. So this week we have a book for Smarty Pants. It is Transforming Fate into Destiny by Robert Ohotto, which I'm probably mispronouncing. Apologies to Mr. Ohotto. This is a book that you may find interesting. There's probably some things in it that are not as traditional, but I listened to some of his podcasts. He's done a lot of work. This book came out in 2008. He's helped a lot of people overcome barriers from making progress in their business, in their life, in their relationships. And he had an experience that launched the direction of his life. In the introduction, he said that on December 11th, 2005, I found myself asking why her, when I found out that one of my best friends, Jenny, was killed in a car accident. She was the embodiment of a good person. She had a heart of gold, compassion, and empathy that could make you feel heard when you spoke with her. She was as close to her family as possible could be, and was loved by hundreds of friends. Believe me, I'm not exaggerating. I used to get mad at her for having so many fans that it limited our time together. Jenny worked as an occupational therapist in a hospital and had picked up an extra shift for the holidays, which led to her death, or on the path to her death. As she was driving to work that Sunday morning, going only 30 miles an hour on a residential street, she was broadsided by another car that was going the same speed. She had her seatbelt on and the airbags deployed, all the measures you'd expect to ensure your safety in an accident. Although she suffered no major external injuries, somehow the way part of her rib cage was impacted caused her aorta to burst, and she died almost instantly. It was an accident that she should have easily survived. And he talks about how he was processing this death, which was very difficult. And he said just 3 weeks later, his mother was in a terrible car accident, and fortunately, she lived. And so he thought it was strange that his very dear friend Jenny was going fairly slow, was in a residential area, had her seatbelt on, the airbags worked, and yet she died. And then his mother fortunately survived a very terrible accident that should have probably killed her. So then his question, he started thinking about, while we're here on earth, are we fated, or do we choose our own path? What is fate? What is destiny? And how do we know the difference? So that is what the main thing that started his journey. And he has worked a great deal on the radio and certainly on podcasts. And he's a speaker and a teacher. And he's helped a lot of people deal with tragedy and trying to make sense out of things that didn't make any sense. So our book this week is Transforming Fate into Destiny by Robert Ohotto. Again, my apologies if I butchered his name. So, our power word for the week is fate. And our train your brain thought is transforming our fate into our destiny. So even if we don't agree with everything that Mr. Robert has to say, it is an interesting book. I did not find it for free, the entire book on YouTube, which I usually do. It might be out there. I didn't find it. But there are some really interesting podcasts and interviews with him. And again, it may not be something we ascribe to fully, but there are some tidbits and some ideas that we may find refreshing and may help us overcome a hurdle or a problem that we're dealing with. So our Hey That's Funny file says, I started out with nothing and I still have most of it. So thank you for joining me on episode 50, and enjoy your week and keep creating a life that you love because you deserve it. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next week. Bye. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. I look forward to being with you every week. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, please email me at coachlindy@lindyhutchinson.com. My name is spelled Lyndi, so it's Coach Lindy, Lyndi, at Lindy Hutchinson, LYNDIHUTCHINSON.com. I value what your input is, and I'm always open for suggestions and ideas. If you will like and or subscribe to this podcast, that would be wonderful. I appreciate it. And I enjoy anything that you might want to send in, or if you would like some more information about coaching, send me an email and I will get back with you, and we'll talk about how you can create your best life. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.